This podcast is brought to you by Carvana. Carvana makes car selling fast and easy from start to finish. Enter your license plate or VIN and get a real offer in seconds, down to the penny. If you accept, Carvana will come pick up your car from your driveway. Or you can drop it off at one of our car vending machines. Either way, you get paid instantly. It's fast, transparent, and 100% online. Car selling that saves your time. That's Carvana.
Carvana.
Pickup fees may apply.
What's up, everybody? It's your favorite duo, Court and Amy from New York, or The Way Everything Feels like from a sequel to John Carpenter's legendary Escape from New York, because the world feels like it's going to complete shit and we'll probably be trying to run across the bridge with all of our provisions in a knapsack running for our lives. But hey, we're here.
So a documentary, in other words.
Exactly.
All right, well, we'll start off with something relatively positive, I guess.
Pia Zadora?
No. It's election time. I love voting. I love voting. I love it. I love you get a sticker. I love early voting. We've discussed this before. The greatest invention since over-the-counter ibuprofen. It's fucking amazing. Yeah. I love seeing the poll workers, bless their hearts. It's a hard job, and I'm always glad to see them. Voted yesterday, got up, went up there. I always feel very proud walking around with my literal I just voted sticker. In New York, you get cute little stickers. And if you vote on Halloween, you get a Halloween sticker, but they had one for each borough, which I appreciated. So you got a Manhattan, I got a Brooklyn. Unless Andrew Cuomo pulls a stunt, which, to put it in your words, he is a stunt queen. It is very likely that we will have history will be made in New York. And I am doing my damnedest. It's not because I'm a racist white person, though I just got called a white bitch today by a random person. I do have a hard time pronouncing mom because it's hard for English speakers. I read an article in the Times. It's the M after the A. So it's Mom Donnie, not Mondani, which I've been saying, and it's Zoran. So anyway, he will probably be our mayor unless something happens.
And his middle name is Kwame, FYI.
His middle name is Kwame, which is great.
For that. Anyway, here's the thing. Here's the thing with the Democrat. One, I come from a voting family. I, like you, I enjoy voting. I used to really love politics until the 2016 election has really turned me off. And just now, because everything is so disgusting, it's really taken my love of politics and just dragged it in the toilet. So I just, whatever. I vote early now so everybody can leave me the fuck alone so I can absolutely just tune out of everything because I'm like, people are like, don't you want to know what's going on? I'm like, I've already done my thing. There's nothing else I could do right now. I've done my thing.
Right.
I show up at every election. I've only ever missed one election.
I've never missed any.
It was a New York mayoral election, and I was working in the music industry, and I was in California. And my mother...
All right, that's an excuse. That's an excuse.
No, not for Lula Mae Anderson, it wasn't.
Oh, she was mad?
Baby, she let me have
Which election?
it.
Which election was it?
I don't even remember. I don't. I think it was one of the Giuliani elections. It was one of the Giuliani, and it was a primary. It wasn't the main. It wasn't.
But then you wouldn't have been able to vote for him anyway because you were not a Republican. Primaries are only with the party. You can't.
Yeah, but whoever was running against him at that time and whatever.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? It was
Mark Green. Mark Green.
Yeah. But my mother was like, we don't miss elections. Like for years, when I first moved out of the house, I never changed my address on paper. And I would go home the night before and I would go vote with my mom and dad. We would get up early before everybody went to work and go vote at my old school 181. But then I got to a certain point when I was like, I need to be able to vote in some of these local elections because that's where, we've said it a million times on this show. Local politics is really, you care about what's happening in your neighborhood. It's not the president. It's all those city council people, those people that you try to ignore or whatever. I'm glad that election time is here. this race is really turning racist and ugly, and I hate that. I see that young people, here's the thing about the Democrats, especially in New York, Andrew Cuomo. It's like, dude, you don't
He's
have
not a
young,
no,
right.
he's
You
except for
don't,
the young people, the
yeah,
young black
yeah.
kids he's paying to
Well,
hand out flyers on my street.
you don't have young people. Young
Yeah.
people are really tired of all of the parties, but especially the Democrats, because they've seen a lot of promises and they're stressed out being like, I can't afford to live in my own city. So it's like, he's got young people. Listen, affordability is the shit we care about the most in this city because it's become, fun fact, you people who don't live in New York, I know it's expensive everywhere, and New York has always been an expensive city. But sometimes you're just like, does it have to cost me $100 to leave my house on a random Tuesday or Wednesday? You know what I mean? New York has just gotten so ridiculously expensive. It's like, it can't just be the rich people who live here sometimes. Anyway, election time, do your duty, people. It's elections all across this country, but especially all of our New York listeners.
New
Get out
Jersey,
there and vote.
New York, New Jersey, Virginia. Yeah. Well, our Knicks are 2-0.
Yeah, and listen, and they won their preseason
And
games.
they also beat the Celtics, which
Yes,
for
they did.
any New York. Now, I will say I got screamed at by one of the guys on the corner, one of my knucklehead corner guys who bonds with me over the Knicks. I did not see all of the first game because I was sort of toggling back and forth between the debate and, but I watched the game 2 days ago, and I will say I saw something, and I have no disrespect for Tom Thibodeau. I liked him, but I saw something I have not seen in quite some time. Jalen Brunson sitting down for long periods of a stretch. I went, oh, we're going to have a team this year where maybe this guy gets to take like a little disco nap, so he's not carrying the entire team.
Cat is great, and I think Cat can do a lot of stuff.
No, but I'm saying, that was always the criticism of Tibbs.
But what I'm saying is, you've got a player like Cat in there now, right?
Right.
And he can lead some shit, so you can give Jalen a rest. I need Hart to be better. I need Hart.
2 games in.
I also need, I don't know, I felt like they should have traded Mitchell Robinson in this offseason. He's made of glass. It's like, he's great.
I'm bummed that Precious is gone.
Oh, I'm really upset about that.
Because you had a crush on him too, didn't you?
Well, listen, that's...
Hey, it's okay.
I looked up one day. I was like,
no, listen.
I could have been a wag. Do you know how fierce I would have been at Madison Square Garden and looked?
Listen, I didn't have a physical crush on Dante DiVincenzo, but I had an emotional crush on Dante DiVincenzo because he just reminded me of the type of, like, if you were in a bar and somebody started to mess with you, like Dante would step up and clock the guy and then completely ignore you and go off and talk to somebody else.
I would be fierce in the garden. They put me on the camera and they'd be like, wow, what's he wearing? And I'd be like, vintage Comme des Garçons.
No, I love
vintage Yoji Yamamoto. And a Birkenstock.
I know you. I mean, we're going to be talking about the Knicks all season, but I got to say, I saw an interview with Ben Stiller the other day, and I think he's great. Ben Stiller knows the game. He is like, this is what a Knicks fan looks like, not somebody rolling through because they're winning.
And we've been seeing him at games for
forever.
Years.
Like him,
like Spike,
and John Stewart,
Spike,
Tom Brokaw. Some of these guys have been going to these games forever, ever. So anyway, yay Knicks. It's always fun. What's it with them on Amazon Prime all of a sudden? That confused me.
Well, no, you know that all of those deals that happened last year where TNT lost. Remember, Amazon did it, ESPN and NBC. So it's Peacock, NBC, and all of the things. So like they did that deal, and that's why the games are everywhere. And I never know which game is on which network on what night, which is really annoying. It's like I like my Knicks. They were central. They were going to be on MSG no matter what. You knew you could turn to MSG. And one night they were playing and I realized they weren't on MSG because they were on Amazon Prime. And I'm like, okay, this is where the fuckery begins with our Knicks shit. Where we got to search to try to find where the games
also, but who's doing the color commentary on Amazon? Who is that? It's a former coach or somebody.
When I looked the other day, it was, I want to say Vince Carter was there, Carmelo Anthony was
No,
there.
no, but it was
And someone,
somebody. It was somebody who had
yeah,
coached because he was
yeah, I
talking
don't,
about playing in Miami. I don't know. They're
yeah, I don't
annoying,
know.
and I just miss my guys. All right. Oh, I just got a text from Deb. I said, "Give her 7." She goes, "Great. I'm throwing some makeup on." Love her.
Mm-hmm.
We have a fabulous guest today, Debbie Southwood-Smith, a woman extraordinaire, A&R extraordinaire, and like me, an escapee into
Wait,
education.
and I
Bear
think
with
it's really
me.
important that you have to put it. She did rock A&R, which is really like
Well,
a
let's
lot of
let's
fucking men. So I think
we'll talk
it's
about that when
important to
she.
talk about the period and the bands that she
No.
signed and being a woman doing that shit, man.
All right, we will definitely talk about it. All right, let's go over this just kind of briefly. The NBA thing, like, okay, I am shocked. Gambling in sports. Wait,
Gambling,
in
sports.
sports
Let's all partner. What could go wrong
could go wrong.
there?
Really, what could possibly happen if we let people have legalized gambling? Anyway, I am just
What could
stunned.
possibly go wrong
I
there?
mean, I don't
Amy,
understand
could you
it.
see that coming?
Not at
Wait,
all.
I
Oh my
sure
god.
enough could not have.
Oh my god, the next
Really?
thing you're gonna tell me is the construction biz is run by the mob
Right.
too.
And then you hear all of the things and it's like, this is stupid. You guys are never supposed to be in partnership.
I know.
Gambling in sports should not. ESPN reporting the story and then having ESPN Sportsbook is like,
No, it's
what the
ridiculous.
fuck
And
are we talking
and
about
the
here?
FanDuel stuff,
All of that shit.
I would love to see though. They have been focusing on the famous basketball players because of course they're famous, but I would love to see the lineup. I just watched the Scorsese documentary, which is fantastic if you watch it.
Oh, is it
But
really good?
oh, it's so good.
Have you watched the Allen Iverson documentary?
Not yet. No, I want to watch that because I love that's the only AI that I care about is Allen Iverson. But I would love to see a parade of wise guys on television for
Oh my God.
all right, shifting gears like nobody's business. So Lily Allen is not happy.
I think from the sounds of things, it's like she got mad. From the sounds of things, she got married. She relocated to New York. Now, here's the thing: Lily Allen has her own shit, so let's not. She's no wilting flower, right? But it sounds like you moved to New York, moved away, set your career here, and then your husband decides he wants an open marriage. Let me just tell you, I have had friends in open relationships.
None of them work.
Let me just tell you something about the open relationship. In the beginning, I've watched them and everybody was like, there's rules and they always, every one of my friends who's been in an open relationship, and this is not a judgment on anybody because I feel like do what works for you, but I have watched it go to a place where each one of those relationships came to an end.
Well, the result of her fury is I mean, because if you're going to be really pissed off, then get some good music out of it. So she has gotten some very good music. I love the production on this too. It's like a little drum and bass stuff, right? So the album is called West End Story.
West End Girl.
No, West End Story.
West End Girl.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I thought it was West Side Story. West Side Girl. Let's do
West End, no, because remember the story starts with her getting the call to go do the play on the West End that she got the Olivier nomination for, and she's saying in the beginning, the very first song, she's talking about I got the call, we were so happy, I went over, and then I get a phone call.
West End Girl. Okay, I was like getting confused. All right. Anyway, it's a very good album. Courtney read me for filth because I hadn't listened to it yet. I can't keep up. I know who she is, obviously, but it is a really good album. It is brutal. And the Post today has a picture of the woman that song Madeline is like.
Oh, do they have a picture of Madeline?
Yes. I say this
Poor
with no
Madeline.
Judgment.
Oh no, what are you gonna say?
Her name's not Madeline, but those are actually her texts that she's reading in the song. I say this with nothing. I am a feminist. I am
Here comes the
pro-girl.
cuntiness. I hear it coming.
No, this woman is like skankalicious, and that's all I'll say. She is exactly the type of woman that a something-year-old B-list actor is going to And I'm sure she's accomplished. She's also super young, everything.
Right.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, look. All right, perfect. We were talking about Lily Allen. Perfect.
Hold on. We're gonna go to a commercial break. We're gonna come back. We're going to introduce our guest, because here's the thing. I love Lily Allen. She makes me mad with all her bullshit, but everybody makes me mad. And I got so much bullshit. But I really like Lily Allen. We're gonna come right back. We're taking a break. We'll be back in 1 minute. See ya.
When I dropped the needle for the first time, wow, it was magic. The warmth, the texture, the way it pulled you into the music. If you want to feel that again, the Andover Spin Duo is where you start. It's not just a turntable. The Spin Duo comes with a Spin Bass 2 speaker, high fidelity, solid components, no flimsy plastic. It fills the room, and it's versatile enough to hook up to other devices via Bluetooth. And yeah, it even comes with a remote. Andover makes a whole family of gear. Spin Bass 2 Max if you want to step it up, or the Andover One if you're chasing true audiophile heaven. But here's the thing. For anyone getting into or back into vinyl, the Spin Duo is the easy, fun, no compromise way in. And right now, Pantheon listeners get 15% off at andoveraudio.com/Pantheon. That's andoveraudio.com/Pantheon. Drop the needle and join me back in the groove.
This Wednesday,
our son's new girlfriend's a former student.
don't miss Anniversary.
You know, I used to be afraid of you. I don't think I am anymore.
Starring Diane Lane and Kyle Chandler.
We need to be careful. She's trying to obliterate us.
Anniversary. Rated R.
And we're back. Okay, Amy, introduce.
I was gonna wear my Dead Kennedys t-shirt because I can't wear it on the street because it says "too drunk to fuck." All right. No, it does. It says "too drunk to fuck."
Yeah, I remember that t-shirt.
I remember everything about it. This is a crazy question. I mean, not a crazy question, a crazy introduction. So I knew Debbie Southwood-Smith through the industry, but she was on a much higher level than me. She was an executive and in the rock world, which I really wasn't in. But we seemed to have a lot of mutual friends. And the friends that she was friends with were also people that I held dear to my heart. Gary, our dear friend Gary. And believe it or not, we met for the very first time at Gary's service.
I was trying to figure out how I know you.
Yeah.
That's it then. Okay.
Yeah. And I've been thinking about Gary because of D'Angelo.
Oh, yeah.
Right. But anyway, Debbie is the bands that she has signed and worked with, Queens of the Stone Age. Yes. D-Generation. I definitely want to talk to you about Jesse Malin, because I want to talk to you about all different levels of his career. And like a lot of us, Debbie was probably too smart for the room and decided to go into the high-paying, exciting world of academia. I figured I could become a teacher. I figured if I could work with musicians, I could teach. I mean, it's the same thing.
Well, same. Yeah, I figured if I could survive on the bus with Monster Magnet, then I can walk effortlessly through any kind of chaos.
You're correct, but you don't get a PD. That's the only difference. You get a professional development, not a per diem. The per diem
not a per diem, right?
So why don't you start talking about how? Because Courtney and I were saying that the music industry is a boys' club, all right, but A&R in particular, and rock A&R is a real boys' club. So how did you kind of get into that world?
Because there was you, especially that generation. It was you. There's Mary Gormley, who I know did rock. And I know Teresa, who I work with, Teresa Labera Whites, but I think Teresa did pop and R&B. I don't think Teresa did rock. Like for rock, it was really specific and very male-dominated. How'd you do it?
Yeah, there was me, there was Kate Hyman.
Okay, yeah. Oh, okay, yeah, right.
Yeah. I feel like me and Kate are probably the best known names in a way,
Yeah.
but there was a smattering of us. I was just always so passionate about music, and So even like in high school, I wrote a music column for my my high school newspaper, and then I went to Emerson College, and I pretty much ran WERS, and then graduated and climbed the corporate ladder. So I started like as a secretary with MCA, but everybody would always say, you should be doing A&R, you should be doing A&R. I didn't even know what it was, but I was in clubs all the time and whatever. And then I moved from Boston to New York to run an independent label called Giant at the time, and then we sold our name to Irving Azoff and became Rockville Records, and I signed Uncle Tupelo, and that was kind of the beginning of my A&R career. And I don't really know what it was about me that didn't make the boys club such a such a obstacle. I don't know. I don't know if it was because I did know so much about my genre of music, so I could talk about music like, I hate to say that, like a guy, right? Like, why can't women know a lot about music? But I was a record collector, and I read the back of my records like boys say that they read the back of their records,
I
right?
used to say I was both characters in High Fidelity.
Yeah.
I was both of them, you know.
It's kind of like when you hear like the Wilson sisters from Heart saying like, we didn't want to date the Beatles, we wanted to be the Beatles, you know. And I always had like a certain business sense about things. Like I was a Kiss fanatic, and I sent Paul Stanley fan letters, but I sent them to Aucoin Management. I didn't send them to the Kiss Army, and he got them. And he called me.
Wow.
I was
Oh, perfect. We
13
can
years
talk to you about
old.
Ace Frehley because we were going to talk about
Yeah.
Ace. Yeah.
So sad. I cried so much
Yeah.
last week. I just cried and cried. And it's funny because I've been wearing this Kiss sweatshirt around all day, and people have been stopping me all over the place in the
Did
market.
he and Gene make up before he passed away? Did they ever get back? Because weren't they like kind of not great?
I don't know. I know. I just know this. Like, I went to see Ace play a few months ago in a real shitty club in Sayersville, New Jersey. We just went to like kind of pay our respects, and because me and some other friends that are Kiss fanatics, and he was like a mess. You know, it was his birthday too, and we were like, note to self: don't ever go see Ace Frehley play on his birthday.
Right.
But I thought it was a little sad because I felt like, you know, he's kind of proven those guys right. But I don't know how much of that also is an act, was age, was the damage that maybe was done. Even we don't know, because I don't know. I don't know him as a 70 whatever year old man.
Right.
But anyway, getting back to me.
Yes. Yes, please.
So I felt like I could just always talk about music the way that people expect guys to be able to talk about music, and I could do that in high school, and I could do it in college, and then I did it in my career. And so in that, you know, when you're wooing an artist, a lot of it is as an A&R person, I feel is that they want to know that you can speak the same language as they do, and I did. So yeah. So the collecting records, the knowledge, all of there. You know, I did have all of that, and there were a lot of men doing A&R that didn't have the kind of knowledge that I had, that couldn't talk about records the way that I could talk about records. So, and I feel like the artists that I signed are really quality. Like they're not fly by night. Like I one of the things that's been really freaking me out and making me so proud lately is how relevant they've all stayed. Like Jesse from Degeneration with his play Silver Manhattan, and Jeff Tweedy from Uncle Tupelo Wilco, just released this solo record, three record solo records set that's phenomenal, and it's just been getting so much press and publicity, and people from the Daily Show
And
to
there's
the New
been
York
sort
Times.
of a resurgence of the yeahs on like TikTok and stuff too, right?
And yeah,
Yep.
there was a TikTok trend. So I was watching like my Hispanic students do this like dance, the maps. It's like a hand flutter dance,
Hey,
the maps
we all
dance.
love you like I love
And they
you.
didn't even know. I
Hey.
was like, oh my gosh, you don't even know what that means to me. But also Rolling Stone said that they called Maps the number 2 song of the decade,
Oh
of the
yeah,
century, of the century.
of the
Better than the
century.
decade,
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
century.
yeah, yeah.
And then Queens of the Stone Age with this Catacombs tour that has been just phenomenal. You know, they're playing these beautiful theaters, and like people are going in black tie. It's almost like a night out with Queens of the Stone Age. It's like that, like Queens of the Stone Age crossed with the Met Gala. It's so beautiful, like what they're doing.
I loved watching them when I loved when they started working with Iggy. I thought that was such a great that was Queens of the Stone Age and Iggy. It wasn't like Josh Holmes' separate band, right? It was a
No,
separate.
it was like Queens and Iggy, and it's interesting because Brian Zinner, I'm sorry, Nick Zinner from is playing guitar with Iggy now.
Okay.
So I thought that was funny. And then Brian Chase, the drummer of the Yeah Yeah Yeahs, is playing Max Weinberg in the new Springsteen film.
Oh, have you seen that?
No, I was going to go last night and we didn't end up going. I might actually go when we're done with this.
Okay, I'm glad.
Do you have an album out of everything that you've A&R'd where you say, this is the one, like out of everything, the songs, the production, this is my favorite out of all of the albums I've A&R'd?
I wouldn't say like in terms of like musically, because it depends what mood I'm in. They can be, well, any one of them could be my favorite depending on the mood I'm in. If I want something that's really like kick ass, I'll listen to Monster Magnet's Power Trip. If I want something that's like more folky, I'll listen to Uncle Tupelo, which I was the other night actually. But my favorite record making experience was definitely Queens of the Stone Age rated R. It's all analog. We didn't use Pro Tools for one track. It's all tape. We cut tape like with razor blades and spliced it the old way. And it was recorded at Sound Studio, where Fleetwood Mac made Rumors, and all of these incredible records were made. There's actually a great documentary about Sound City Studios.
Oh, I've seen that. Is that the one that Dave
That's one that
Grohl
Dave
did?
Grohl did, yeah.
That's a really good documentary.
And it was just beautiful. There was just something. Also, like I had just had my heart broken, like smashed to bits, and I needed something to help me heal. And I just felt like the act of making that record, of just like budgeting it and figuring out like what equipment they needed, and figuring out like we had Mark Lanigan on that record. We had like beautiful special guests, and it healed me, you know. So there's that. So that just my whole memory of making that record is so like, it's like that's what you want A&R to be.
It's so funny when you talked about not to equate what we do, but just I've had several circumstances. I was one of them involving Matthew Knowles when they were doing a listening session for I can't not the Beyonce 4 record, the one that came out before Beyonce 4. Anyway, they were doing a listening session for
I Am Sasha Fierce.
No, not that one.
Because I Am Sasha Fierce is right before 4.
All right, well then maybe it was 4, but anyway,
Matthew wasn't there for 4. 4 was the first album after she.
Well, whatever album he was still involved in, and I can't think of what it was, but anyway, and they were playing a song, and I kind of went, "Oh, is she sampling Girls Can't Do What the Boys?" And he looked at me like, "How do you know that?" And I'm like, "Dude, like, this is what I do for a living. You think I'm here for like craft services and cute
Right.
guys? This is what I know this stuff. Like, this is what I do. And the men are always so like surprised. It's like, like, you don't go into the music business or writing for sure because because you want to make, you don't make any money. It's a hard work. It's always been very funny to me that women are like, we're not supposed to know this stuff. And yet we buy as many records as the guys do, if
Well,
not
yeah,
more.
I mean, that's what made Metallica the biggest rock band in the world, was when girls started buying their records.
Right.
That's what made them huge. Like, they already had the male audience. When girls started listening to Metallica, that's when Metallica became the biggest band in the world. So, absolutely, absolutely. I think also. So I would say, the sexism really not so much from the musicians. Not that there probably weren't. I mean, if there were musicians who were sexist and didn't want to work with a female A&R person, then they weren't ringing my bell.
Right.
Like, so. But I know that, especially at Interscope, when I got to Interscope, which is where I spent my last 8 years, that was really a boys' club. And particularly after Tom Whalley left. And Gary Harris said to me once before he passed, you were oblivious to it. He said you worked at Interscope during the most sexist time of Interscope, and you were oblivious to it. And I was, as a survival method, I think, because I was getting knocked around and beat up all the time. I really was being second guessed and questioned, and people were trying to take my axe away, and people were trying to paint me as not good at my job, and yet I could close a deal, and yet I could make a hit record, and yet I signed artists that really shouldn't have had hit records, and yet they had hit records. So I think that, for me, my survival method was to not acknowledge it, and
Right.
and just sort, like I said maybe earlier, maybe just glide through the hallway through the chaos with trying to deflect it. But it was exhausting, and
Yeah.
it absolutely did take its toll. It did take its toll, and I feel like lately I've been doing a few of these podcasts, and they're very healing for me because
Oh, good.
I
I'm
can
glad.
talk. Yeah, they are. They're kind of therapeutic because I can talk about uh, it hurt and it was hard, and the people that did that to me, they need to hear me say, "You did that.
Right.
You had somebody that was bringing you hit records and making your company money, and what did you do? You punched them in the head every chance that you got. Why? Because I'm a woman?"
Well, I have to say that, I mean, obviously you are a very strong and smart woman, and I'd like to think I'm at least smart, but I will say, and without going into details, being in a room with a bunch of guys when they all decide to turn on you is, and it's because you're a mouthy broad, is it's rough, man. And then you bring in the age factor. We're not kids, and that's, women of a certain age in the industry are obsolete. It's a really, it's a very, I was a nerd from it somewhat because I wasn't making business deals. I was a writer, but I know the way that they thought that the women writers were sleeping with the artists. That must be how we're getting, I think the
And
only
can I
thing that,
also say,
yeah,
so what?
Yeah,
Like,
and
so
yeah, okay.
what if I
Yeah.
wanted to fuck a rock star every now and then? Because they certainly were, or
Oh, of
if they
course they were.
looked like
They
me,
were
they
doing so
would have
much.
been.
They were doing so much
Yeah.
trashy
No,
shit.
they wanted to. And the
And
men are the
some of them were
biggest
doing,
groupies of
and
all.
some of them were doing some of the most, like, as a music industry former executive, some of them were doing the most trashy shit, just
No.
trashy. But they get jealous, right? They see you. Here's this woman. She's here. She's young. She's signed these acts. Oh, we signed this act. We don't expect anything. Oh, did you just have a global hit with it? And that envy and that nastiness comes through because it's like, oh, you think you're smart, you think you know what you're doing. It's like, well, actually, I am smart and I do know what I'm doing.
I think the men have always been the biggest groupies. I really do. I think the men would get on their knees literally and figuratively because I think what was the line Elvis Costello, rock criticisms for people who can't. No. What somebody said, Frank Zappa once said, I think the reason the music critics love Elvis Costello is because music critics look like Elvis Costello.
Yeah.
And so, these kind of nerdy, kind of like it's a wonky business in a lot of ways.
It's
I mean,
crazy.
it's wonky with Coke, you know what I
Listen,
mean? And wonky with expense accounts,
I had somebody who
basically.
said to me once, I used to do dancing. I did marketing, I was in management, and then I took over doing the dance remixes for a bunch of artists. And I started doing dance A&R, and I was having a lot of hits, but still nobody respected because in America, nobody gave a shit about dance music. And I had somebody say to me once, and I was like, do you realize you guys have not given me a bonus? You've not said thank you. The amount of number one records I had. I said, I've had number one hits on records that you guys bombed at every other format. And the person looked at me and said, well, you always get number one hits, so we just expect that. And I was like, what the fuck does that mean? Do you know how hard that shit is? It's like, it's really, really hard. But I realized as a Black gay man, I always felt like I had to speak a little louder and I had to know what I was talking about. Because I felt like I didn't have the runway to come in and not know what I was talking about. And like you, I'm a record collector. I love this shit. It's like I'm doing this because I understand that it is to me, dance music is a feeling. It's passion. It's bigger than the beats. It's like when I think about it, when I was crafting and hiring those producers and going back and forth in these edits and wanting things changed, I was like, it needs to feel like this. Then I knew that the sound would sound like that. I was like, I wanted to feel like, and I had all these different descriptions. I needed to feel like if you're a person who goes to the gym at 6 o'clock in the morning, you can get on the treadmill and you can do this, it's going to motivate you. If you're the boy who drops an ecstasy tablet with your boyfriend at 2 a.m. in the middle of the night at the Roxy, this is going to be your shit. When your song comes on, you throw your arms in the air. I needed to be the person who's on their way to a medical treatment and they need to feel strong. You know what I mean? It's a feeling.
It is.
But it's hard to explain that to people. It's deeper than just the sound. You got to feel some shit.
I think, rock and roll saved my life. When I was a kid and my home life was noisy and violent and there was stuff going on, I put my headphones on, laid down on the floor, maybe got a little high, and listened to Kiss and listened to Led Zeppelin and listened to the Rolling Stones and then later Bowie and Blondie and the Ramones and the Dead Kennedys and then and so on and so on and so on. And I think I'm forever that kid with the pain around them laying on the floor a little stoned with their headphones on. But I wanted to make records, like you're saying, like looking for that feeling. I wanted to make records that would save kids like me, like that kid in the Midwest who picks up an Uncle Tupelo record and finds a whole scene around it. Or I feel like, Queens of the Stone Age, I feel like their records are still saving people. And Degeneration were so much about like community, and if you want to have a party, find your tribe, find your misfit kids, and make a party or make a band or whatever it is, like survive, like, and that's what Jesse's doing. Amy, you said you wanted to talk about Jesse.
Yeah, I would love to. I would talk. Well, Jesse Malin. So I think I told you this. So I used to work. I was a bartender at this after hours, very infamous after hours punk club on the Lower East Side on 7th and A, where Wawa Hut was. Later became called A7. And, it was illegal, obviously, because it was after hours. So, but this was New York in 1981, so nobody cared. And I got the I lived in California for a while, came back to New York, and I was friends with a lot of punk bands. And somehow I became friends with Black Flag, and I got the job because I went in there with DOA one night, and I passed out on the floor. I was having a little fling with Randy Rampage, and I passed out on the floor, like literally passed out on the floor with like a bottle in our hand. And the owner of the club comes up to me the next day. He goes, "You know a lot of bands. I like your style. You want to work here?" And I'm like, "You like my style?" I'm literally passed out on the bathroom floor, speeding my brains out. There's actually a picture someone took. We're both like that. But anyway, so I started working at A7, and there were all these little hardcore kids who were coming in from Queens, and it was Murphy's Law with Jimmy G. And they were kids. They were like the Beasties. They weren't even the Beasties. They were kids. They were 15. Like they couldn't even reach the bar. And I know this is an illegal club, but you can't even reach the bar. And I don't think I can serve you. I mean, sorry, but you're 15. And Jesse and Heart Attack, they used to play there all the time. And he was the sweetest thing ever. It never connected with me that was the same guy until maybe about 20. He actually moved my ex-husband's furniture over to my house when we got married. But then I was like, wait a minute, this is the guy who owns Black and White, who owns Niagara, who owns Bowery
Niagara.
Electric, who owns all these clubs. Wait a minute, this is D-Generation. Wait a minute, this is Jesse Malin, who's writing songs with Bruce Springsteen. Like this guy. So talk to me, because he has been through an unbelievable last couple of years, and talk a little bit about him, because I think he's somebody that gets lost in the mix a lot, and you obviously know him so well,
Yeah. I mean, just when I signed D-Generation in the early 90s, and that was my first major label signing when I moved from Rockville Records to EMI Records, and I signed D-Generation, and they really became my family throughout everything. And I think also talking about like how to survive the boys club, when you have a family made up of like Jesse Malin, Danny Sage, Howie Pyro, like that's a good support system, so anyway, and Jesse not only was the lead singer of D-Generation, but he had a club, Coney Island High. Amy, do you guys, Amy, Courtney, do you guys remember?
God. I remember Coney Island High.
You just really kicked my brain all the way back. I'm like, holy.
I remember Coney Island High. It was the old McGregors, right?
Was it the 90s?
That was the old McGregors, right?
No one has mentioned fucking Coney Island High to me in decades. That's crazy.
That was the old McGregors, right?
I don't know. It
was on St. Mark's.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was McGregor's. It was that famous hair cutter, had like a disco, and then it became Coney Island High. I only went there a couple times because I had a kid in 1989, so I couldn't go out because I had a baby. But the first time I ever danced to Red Hot Chili Peppers, a Baby Appeal, I remember like dancing to that song there, and I saw Eric Bogosian perform there, of all things.
Yeah.
I was like, what is Eric Bogosian doing here? Okay, that works.
Right.
Coney Island High was, it was trying to survive during Giuliani's crackdown on nightlife, and he was using cabaret law to shut down places and all of that.
He got so many of in the gay bars. I remember that whole period. It's like you couldn't even move. If you tried to shake and do a little shimmy, someone would come up to you and say, dancing, you cannot dance in here.
Yeah.
Footloose. It was like Footloose, citywide Footloose.
So I think that one of the things that's so crazy about degeneration is that they've almost become like mythical. Like nothing really. They never became big, but they should have. They should have been like Guns N' Roses, or they should have been Green Day. They should have been the thing between those two things, and it just never happened. Like there was a big upheaval at EMI. I moved to A&M. I had to move to A&M because in that like sexist things that we suffered through, was told, I loved this one. I was told this by David Segerson, who had just become the president. They ousted Daniel Glass, who's Glass Notes Records, and they put David Segerson in. And David said to me, well, I don't want to keep you in A&R, but I'm thinking about having an in-house stylist. Yeah.
It's like, I know that you've been making these records and your brain works, but can you make people look pretty? It's like the level of insult. I'm sorry. I didn't expect. I thought you were going to come with. He was trying to make me do promotion, and I don't do promotion
or publicity. Yeah,
I was not ready.
I know you have a really good ear, but I love those shoes you're wearing.
I was not ready for you to pull that shit out. I thought it was going to be like he was going to try to make me be a product manager. I was like, I don't do that. Wow. Wow.
You win. We're done. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Nice.
We're done, right?
You kind of do win. I'm going to have to say. I can't even imagine. If somebody said that, I really
would be thought they were going to say product manager.
I literally thought he was going to be like, I need you in promotion because you can, I'm thinking of doing an in-house styling team.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's time to go time. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Can that just all be the poll quote for the show? Can we just run that on a loop over and over?
I've heard so much crazy shit in this industry.
That's the best.
I'm going to have to put that in a top fucking 5.
I'm repeating that story to anyone who cares to listen.
I know you must have been like, excuse me?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And I also, but in my brain was going, okay, the best, oh my goodness, the saying just blew out of my head, my postmenopausal head. What is it? The best, the best revenge is, I don't remember. Anyway, so the
best revenge is quitting and getting a hot act on another label. Fuck you, David Sigerson.
I did. I knew A&M had been sniffing around me, and so I called up David Anderle and I said, if you want to hire me, you have to hire me now. And he did. And so I was able to walk into his office and say, going to A&M, because anybody who had the choice of being at EMI or working for A&M was going to A&M.
Right.
So going to A&M, not as a stylist.
It's like
marching like they right out of here.
Did any choreography positions open or like?
It's like you know what I'm saying? You're like,
oh my!
It's like the level of. I'm so insulted for you that it's like,
I am.
Is this person still alive? Can we call them and be like, what the?
Yes, they are.
Wrong with you? What the fuck was wrong with you? Why would you even let that come out of your mouth to someone? The level of insult, that's so insulting. It's just
next time I see Jim Farber, I'm going to tell him that story because he will also be outraged. I'm going to tell everyone that story. That is not the best story because it's horrible and it happened to you, but that is like, yes, ladies and gentlemen, men.
Here it is. Yeah, here it is. Like, if you don't think it exists, guys, gentlemen, you don't think it exists, you don't think you're doing it, you're doing it.
They don't even realize it.
And it was like I'll give you another one.
Oh, God.
Yay!
Yay! I'll give you another one.
Okay.
Yay! So, I gotta say, Tom Whalley was always so righteous. And he was very, like, I really learned how to be an A&R person from David Anderle, who was a master and a legend, and Tom Whalley. So I got really was schooled by two amazing human beings. But he left, and this guy, Mark Williams, came in, and Mark never liked me for whatever reasons. And he called, and I had saw Queens of the Stone Age Rated R had come out. We all knew they had to have a big next record, but I always rose to those occasions. You know, I didn't sign Monster Magnet. I was given Monster Magnet, but when David Angeli gave me Monster Magnet, he said they have to have a hit record. So take that on, like, be given an act and then told this record has to be a hit, otherwise, obviously, they're going to be dropped, right? And I rose to that occasion. I delivered a hit record. So anyway, Mark gets there. He calls me. This is his first call to me. So I'm in his department now because he's going to be head of A&R at Interscope, and I'm in his department, and he calls me up, and he says, Queens of the Stone Age is a really important signing. Yeah, I know. Not congratulations for signing them. Not congratulations on having a hit record with Rated R. Their next record really has to be big. Oh, I'm well aware of that. If I had been working, I would have signed them.
The level of jealousy and weirdness. See, people don't understand. They think of the music industry, and it's so funny when I hear the things that, especially people who are not in it, who try to say, I would da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, you have no idea the stupidity of sometimes people who have levels of power and the jealousy and the bullshit that you have to plow through.
I hate everyone for you,
Yeah.
Debbie. I hate
It's
everyone
like,
for you.
Not a congratulations, not a wow, that record did great. This next one, we got to knock it out the park.
Well,
Kind of like
A&R
trying to give you a
girl.
lesson, like,
Instead,
the next
good
one
A&R
needs
for
to
a girl,
be something.
Debbie,
you wouldn't even have signed them if I had been working, because I would have thought, like, it was just really
Just trying to diminish everything that you've accomplished.
Exactly.
Like, you're lucky. You were lucky.
Yeah.
How lucky are you?
It must have been because you were so stylish. And they saw you. They signed you. They went, ooh, look at her. She's so stylish. We want to entrust our career to the woman with the fabulous nails and hair. She'll make us big stars. I hate everybody. I'm going to stick a pen through my eye, but that's not true because I won't do that. All right.
Don't do that, Amy.
No, I won't. And I'm
So
wearing
let's get back to
glasses.
Betsy. So then they went to Columbia Records. They got a huge deal with Columbia, and I just think because EMI, they had to re-record, they had to wait. They made that record with Rick Ocasek producing. They had to wait for him to be available. Like time, with EMI, they were getting played on K-Rock. We were getting radio airplay. If they had just could have somehow made the jump to Columbia, taken that record with them, as kind of flawed as it was, it doesn't matter. It had momentum. And boom, I think things would have happened for him. It just didn't work that way. It was like one thing after the other. And that would be like a whole other interview just about, because that really is one of those stories of like when everything goes wrong. Like, this is what happens to an artist when everything goes wrong. But Jesse persevered, and then from out of that, he's like a phoenix, every time he catches on fire and burns up, he just reappears like even more beautiful, like stronger and better. So he became a singer-songwriter, and was really able after Degeneration to explore a lot of musical styles that he'd been interested in that maybe that band would have restricted him, because he did love, like, he loved Wilco, and he loved Dylan, and he loved Neil Young, and he loved the Flying Burrito Brothers, just was a whole other area that he loved. So he had a great career, a really nice international following, playing and making records. Never huge, but he could sustain himself. And then he suffered a very rare spinal stroke, as we know, 2 years ago, and is now paralyzed from the waist down. So he's doing this play at the Gramercy Theater. He's working on this play. I don't know what it's called when you're, I guess, workshopping. He's workshopping this
He's
play
workshopping. Yeah.
at the Gramercy Theater. It's 1 or 2 nights every month, I think through January. It has been the first weekend, but now November, it's the last. And then December, I'm not exactly sure what dates they are, but the play is called Silver Manhattan. And I've gone to see it. He's done 4 performances so far, and I've seen 3 of them. It is so moving. It really is such a masterpiece. And it's a musical guide to survival. And there's a line in it that his therapist said to him, which is, creation is an act of survival. Creating is an act of survival. And Jesse's life has really been about that. But I think all of our lives have been about that. Like, I think it goes back to me talking about being the kid on the floor with the headphones and like wanting to make records for kids who also were coming from chaos and levels of abuse and things like that. It's Courtney, what you were talking about. You know, you want to make these dance records for people that are going through any level of things, from like joy to pain and sorrow, right? Like, it's all of that. So I feel like you guys, even doing this podcast, like, you're creating, and I'm sure it's like in your lives somewhere, it's helping you survive something, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is what we do, right?
Mhm.
This is what we do. This is what we do. Anyway, it's so much about that. And to have this guy who's like really trying to teach himself to walk again, really can't even feel his feet, you know, but also to like be comfortable in an audience and in front of an audience again, and try to figure out like, what is my worth, you know? Without my legs, do I still have that worth? You know, it's very profound. And you laugh and you cry, and it's an inexpensive ticket.
Okay.
And I really urge everyone to go because,
Is it
like,
just him, or does he have like Danny Ray playing with him and stuff like that?
he's got a band. He's got a
Yeah.
band. He's got his band, and then there's a woman, Bree Sharp, who's from.
I remember that name.
I was like, why do
Yeah.
I know that name? I know
Well,
that
that
name.
She did
Yeah.
that David Duchovny song. Do you guys remember that David Duchovny
I was
song?
like,
And then
oh, I
all
know
of these
that name.
people
I
covered
know
it, from
that
like
name.
Brad Pitt and like all these people. Look
I
it up.
totally know that. I
Yeah,
totally
me
know
too.
that name.
Me
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Look it up. And she's also a voice actor.
Oh,
So
okay.
she's phenomenal. Look her up. She's great. So it's talking and it's music and it's it reminds me a little bit of Hedwig, the way that it's structured.
Oh, loved Hedwig.
So yeah, it's a completely different story,
Wow.
but
Yeah. But how is
as
he?
a play,
I know there were these benefits for him, so he is able to perform, obviously, which is extraordinary. And he cannot walk, but he can now stand, right? I mean,
yeah, he can walk with
oh,
a
good.
walker. Yeah, I actually ran into him on the street the other day, with his physical therapist walking around the block. He was using 2 canes,
Oh,
and it's crazy because he can't feel.
mm,
Like, it's just his
I was
will,
like, that
and
sounds like sheer will to be like, I
yeah.
will walk again.
I will walk. Yeah.
Yeah.
His determination and his will is like, and then also he's got a book coming out. He's done this play. He's writing new music all the time. I'm like, if I like get to Pilates and cook dinner, I'm having a good day.
Wait, you can do. Wait a minute. You can do Pilates and cook dinner on the same day. You overachieving bitch. Oh my God. I put the headphones on. I'm very proud of myself, Anyway, I wanted to ask you we always kind of wrap up the show by asking what you're listening to these days, what you listen to. So you start, and then I'll start, and then Courtney will start, and then we will wrap it up, and I will thank you profusely offline. But what are you listening to these days?
Yeah, I'm definitely listening to Jeff Tweedy's solo record. It's called Twilight Overdrive, and it's just great. It's really it's healing to me. It's got a little bit of something for everyone. And it's funny and it's quirky, but it's rockin'. It's a lot of music because it's 3 discs.
Wow.
But so was the Clash's Sandinista. So, and yeah. So that's definitely what I'm listening to right now.
Court, how about you?
I'm listening to this independent artist. Her name is Kirby, and she's got an album called Miss Black America, and it is so good. It's political, it's soul, it's funk. It's really, 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 really good. I'm also listening to this Lily Allen album. And last week, while I was crate digging, because you know me, I'm always going to crate dig, I found Nina Hagen's Fearless album, which I already had on vinyl, but I found the German version. I think it's called Anglos. I don't want to start fucking, not like German up, but it's the German version of the album. So I've been listening to all of the songs that one, it has a slightly different track listing than Fearless, but just listening to them all in German. You know how I feel about Nina Hagen. You know I love her.
Every time I hear somebody say Nina Hagen, I want to go, Cosma,
Shiva, Galaxina. Listen, don't get me started on Nina Hagen. That is my motherfucking girl. I love Nina Hagen. Love her.
I don't get it.
I was going to say earlier, when I was listening to you guys talking about Lily Allen and the whole like West End girl or what, like you were trying. Isn't the Pet Shop Boys that song
West End Girls? Yeah.
Well, we are the unofficial. I will go on record. I broke Courtney's Pet Shop Boys cherry. I was like, how are you gay and you've never seen the Pet Shop Boys?
Love them, had never seen them.
And I'm straight and I've seen them 5 times. They are hands down one of the best live acts you will ever see.
Yeah, they were amazing. They were amazing.
No, they're amazing because they put all their money into production. They have hit after hit after hit. And even I listen to the Pet Shop Boy, like Neil Tennant is my spirit animal because he's also a former music critic. So we think that we can be Neil Tennant. Okay. I love them. So what am I listening to? So this is hilarious. This is typical me. I know who Tame Impala is, obviously, because I'm not a complete idiot and I do listen to white people every once in a while. But I heard this and I'm like, oh, and I hit up Tor and I go, oh, listen to this, you'll really like it. And he goes, oh, I really like it. So meanwhile, it's getting the worst reviews of their career.
Like people who love Tame Impala hate this record. And I'm like, I was dancing around to it the other day. I don't care.
Got no problem. Yeah. So what do I know? So I've been listening to the Blood Orange record, which came out a few months ago, but I really, really like Devontae Hines a lot. I think he's really interesting. Asake, I've been listening to him. And for some reason, this is what our little catchphrase is. I've been listening to Thin Lizzy. Like
really?
Yes. I'll tell you why. First off, I watch an enormous amount of British television. And I was watching House of Guinness. And it's got like all Irish bands as the soundtrack, all Irish bands. So it's completely out of context because it's got nothing to do. It's not like magical music. It's like, so like Fontaine's DC, who I love, and all that. And they play Thin Lizzy. And one of my all-time favorite songs of any genre is Running Back by Thin Lizzy. I love that song. In my mind, that is the kind of love that I have never had. Or if I have had it, they haven't had it. Anyway, so I don't know.
If you have had it, you were probably passed out with a beer. I
was.
Just don't remember.
You were correct, sir. I was. You damn girl. All right, Debbie, we need to keep in touch because, we need to keep in touch. And also, thank you so much for doing this on the ungodly Sunday afternoon. I know for teachers, this is like, stop texting me hour. But thank you so much for doing the show. And
you're
Courtney.
welcome. It was a pleasure. It was so much
great.
fun.
I'm still
laugh.
sitting here thinking that I really thought you were going to be like, he was trying to make me move over to marketing or promotion. And I was like, I don't do promotion.
No. I really think that this is like,
I'm still
it's really, it
I
really
probably would have hit him with a chair. I'm like, they're going to have to call the police because I'm going to kill you in this office. How dare you? How dare you?
Especially since one of Courtney's least favorite, my least favorite expression is jazz brunch. That's a bad one. Gospel brunch and jazz brunch, and his
spoken
is
word,
celebrities and spoken word.
I hate spoken word and celebrity stylist. I hate when people say, "Well, I'm a celebrity stylist." I'm like, what does that mean?
What does that mean?
What does that mean? I've worked with some of the biggest artists in the world. When we've hired somebody, I never said, hold on, and this is celebrity stylist. What the fuck does that mean?
You're in the room and you're putting clothes on a famous person. Ergo, you're a celebrity stylist.
Yeah. It's like, stop. I'm going to need you to stop with the bullshit.
Anyway, take us out, Courtney.
You know what it is. Don't call us and ask us to suddenly be your stylist. It's I'm gonna let you finish. We're here every week or every other week. We don't know when we're here. We're just here. When the show drops, you'll do it. We love you. Follow us. Do all of the things. Follow us on our Facebook. I'm gonna let you finish, all one word. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
And vote, New Yorkers and New Jerseyites. Vote.
We voted early. You guys have no excuse. You can vote early.
And New Jersey is going to be close.
Right.
Close.
Yeah, it's going to be really close. And
so you got to vote.
And don't listen to endorsements are not it. Read what each of these candidates are talking about for real. Look at their policies.
Vote for the cute Muslim guy in New York, for Christ's sakes. It's not even a contest. Just vote for him. His mother made really good movies. Sorry.
You know what I'm saying?
Vote for the woman.
Right.
Do not be scared.
In your state, vote for the woman, 100%.
Yeah.
Definitely vote for the woman. Definitely vote for the woman just because she's a woman with a name like Mikey and she was a pilot.
And she was a pilot.
In the fucking military. So for that alone, it's like, she can fly you out of there and she'll make a rational decision. Because let's just face it, folks, and then we're going. All of the problems we have in this world, especially the United States, is because men have been running this motherfucker and we're a mess. So bye. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Later.
Bye.